Today, I'm going to be sharing why maybe you should be drinking a half a teaspoon of baking soda a few times a week or even every day. There are some incredible health benefits when it comes to baking soda, but as always, this is not medical advice. You can do your own research. I am merely planting the seed. But in this video, I am going to teach you how and when you could drink baking soda, along with all of the amazing benefits that you could see. But make sure you stay to the end of the video because I'm also going to teach you a really cool at-home instant test that you can actually do with baking soda, and you can do it right after this video, but you can test to see how much stomach acid you have, like if you have enough stomach acid to properly digest your food. It's really cool. But let's first just talk about the recipe and how to even do this. It's very simple. However, it is important that you use a good high quality brand of baking soda that is pure sodium bicarbonate. I recommend one of the brands you're seeing here on screen. I actually think the Bob's Red Mill brand is the best that you can buy. The one I have is good too. Again, it's pure sodium bicarbonate. However, don't use, well, you can do whatever you want, but this is alleged. The famous Arm& Hammer brand, a lot of people think that aluminum and like a lot of heavy metals are added to that. So do with that information what you will. What you're gonna do in the morning on an empty stomach, it's crucial that this is on an empty stomach. You wake up in the morning, you're gonna get a cup of water and you're gonna add about a half a teaspoon of baking soda into the water. You could maybe start with a fourth of a teaspoon just to see how it goes, but I think the best dosage is a half a teaspoon. You're gonna mix that into the water. It's gonna foam up a little bit, then it'll die down, and then you drink it back. It tastes totally fine. It kind of tastes like a soda pop. It's really not that bad. A lot of other people actually use freshly squeezed lemon. So if you have a lemon, you could also squeeze this into a cup and then again, mix the baking soda. It's gonna fizz up a bit, but then you drink it. It's lemony, it's tasty, it's very easy. And then you're gonna wait about 30 to 60 minutes before you eat food. And if you do this, even a few times, you could actually notice some amazing things. All right, so I'm just gonna jump into one of the main and just overarching benefits of baking soda, which is the fact that it is extremely alkaline. It's going to help alkalize your body and balance out your pH level. Most diseases and cancer, like the big C word, it just thrives in acidic environments. So you really want to have a more alkaline body to prevent that, especially if maybe you had it before and you don't want it to come back. And so what's interesting is in 2009, a big study came out showing that when mice were exposed to baking soda, it significantly raised the pH level of their tumors, which is what you want to have happen. It also showed that it significantly reduced any metastasis of the tumors in the mice. And so that's why a lot more doctors these days are actually coming out recommending that cancer survivors do actually take baking soda a few times a week or even every day to prevent it from coming back. Now, with that said, there are many, 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 many doctors that would never recommend this. So obviously you can do whatever you want. You can listen to your own doctor, but I do want people to comment down below some of their experiences with baking soda, because I know that there's a lot of people that have tried this for many things and have seen insane improvements, just crazy stories. So I know you people are out there. Please comment down below. I want this, again, to just kind of be a resource for people to just learn about. Sometimes I know hearing things not from me is helpful. Now, in a nutshell, here is my opinion. If you are wanting to prevent certain diseases or even just reap some of the benefits that I'm also about to share, a normal person, I would say maybe use baking soda once or twice a week. And that's it. If you have a more serious situation going on, you could do it more often. Also, this is another thing that you could try. Try doing it every day or every other day for 7 to 10 days straight. Just see how you feel. See if things improve in your life. Let's move on to another benefit, which is the fact that it improves gut health. And that's because baking soda actually fights off candida and yeast and a lot of the bad bacteria in our gut. So it really helps to just balance out our gut microbiome. Another, I guess, this is more of a temporary thing that you can do. Like if you have a lot of acid reflux or GERD, that actually is more of an indication that you do have low stomach acid. Rather than popping the Tums and like all this other medication or whatever, you do need to get to the root cause of that problem. But a quick temporary relief that is, in my opinion, way better and healthier, and honestly, it works instantly, is to down some baking soda with water. It will instantly put out the fire. But with that said, you still need to get to the root cause of why that's happening in the first place. And one of the ways that you can really help fix the GERD and the acid reflux is to add more stomach acid back in. And apple cider vinegar is such a good thing to do. And I made a whole video about the crazy awesome things that drinking apple cider vinegar can do for your body. I will link that, but maybe you could watch that video next. This next one is super cool. I've tried it. It 1000% works. If you take baking soda about 60 to 90 minutes before a workout or intense exercise, you get so much better endurance. You get a better workout. You burn less muscle actually. And it's all because baking soda reduces the lactic acid buildup. So you have more energy, you have better endurance, you don't lose as much muscle, you build more muscle, you get better muscle recovery, less inflammation. A lot of athletes do this and it really does work. And then this next one kind of piggybacks off the last point, but just the crazy increase in energy. Anytime you take baking soda, as it digests, it does release CO2, which allows your red blood cells to actually push more oxygen into your cells and into your tissues, which then boosts energy. So again, if you're working out, you have better endurance, you just feel better. But beyond that, just everyday life, running errands, doing stuff around the house, going to work, you're going to have more energy. Anytime you boost oxygen in your body, in your cells, in your tissues, that is a wonderful way to prevent diseases and help to increase your immunity. These next few benefits, I'm gonna just breeze through fairly quickly because they're not going to apply to everyone, but they are things that if you experiment with baking soda, you might notice a pretty immediate difference in the way you feel. It's gonna help reduce inflammation. If you have achy joints, if you've got just inflammation through your body, it could really, really help with pain and that kind of thing. It really helps to also support and help your kidneys. So if you suffer from kidney problems or kidney stones, it does help to neutralize the acidic waste. Again, prevents kidney stones. It also helps with gout. If you struggle with gout, you should totally try the baking soda thing. This also really helps with managing and even stabilizing your blood sugar. It helps to lessen insulin resistance. You could try baking soda, test your numbers, see what happens. But again, I keep coming back to this. The frequency of using baking soda really varies person to person to person. If you are suffering with an active problem that you are trying to fix or you're trying to feel better, you could try this more frequently, maybe a few times a week to even every day for a while, just to see if your symptoms improve. Now, if you're somebody that's just like, you're perfect, you have no problems, then you can maybe do this once or twice a month. You know what I mean? Now, before we move on, I just have to say something. And I say this with love, but I just want you to see this perspective. So I know there's gonna be people down in the comments saying, you can't take baking soda, it's dangerous, it's harmful. The thing is, guys, there are so many people out there that have heart disease, kidney disease, diabetes, respiratory problems, acid reflux, you name it. I mean, there's pills and pharmaceutical drugs. People take them by the handfuls every single day with tons of side effects, and that's just considered normal. So why not try something super basic? So natural, pretty boring and basic actually. And if it helps, why not? Okay, now as promised, let's get into the test that you can do at home to see if you actually have enough stomach acid, which stomach acid is good. You want stomach acid so that you properly digest your food. If you're not properly digesting your food, then you're not absorbing the vitamins, the minerals, all of the nutrients from the food. So you want a good amount of stomach acid. Now, if you do this test and you fail it and you don't have enough stomach acid, I'm going to share different things that you can do to increase your stomach acid, which will also really help the way you feel. Now, I did say that you could do this test right after the video, but ideally you want to do this in the morning on a completely empty stomach. You're going to take a cup of water and specifically 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, mix it into the water and drink it back. And then immediately set like a timer or a stopwatch. You're going to measure how long it takes you to burp. Okay, here is kind of the timetable here. If you burp in less than 3 minutes, then you actually have really good, sufficient stomach acid. If you burp between 3 and 5 minutes, then you're kind of borderline. It's not terrible, it's not great, but it's like okay. If it takes you longer than 5 minutes to burp, then that means you do not have enough stomach acid. Now, I didn't even really explain how this works. So baking soda, again, it's alkaline. It's going to mix with the stomach acid that you have, and it's going to create carbon dioxide, and that's that's what causes the burp. Obviously, blood tests and that kind of thing are gonna be way more accurate than this, but overall, this is a pretty good indication. Now, if you did this test, and I'm gonna be frank with you, I've done this test where I failed the test, and then there've been other times where I passed with flying colors. So if I fail, then I realize, wow, I don't have enough stomach acid. What you can start doing is you can start taking digestive enzymes. I forgot to grab my favorite kind. Okay, here they are. They're the brand Bio Optimizers. I can link this below, but it's called Masszymes, and they are proteolytic enzymes, amazing for digestion, and you actually take 3 capsules of this before you eat, right before you eat with food. And it helps to break down the proteins and the starches and the sugars. There's 15 different enzymes in here, and it's just a really good boost for digestion. Now, another thing you can do if you have low stomach acid is just chew your food more. Just chew it longer than you really need to, and that actually signals to your brain to produce more stomach acid. Now, another thing you can try, and honestly, this might be the best thing. You can take a tablespoon of organic apple cider vinegar, mix it with water, drink that right before you eat, and that's also going to enhance stomach acidity. It's gonna really help with digestion, and it's gonna do about a million other good things. Okay, apple cider vinegar is not talked about enough. It is so freaking good for us. And so I want you to watch this video next. You should watch this where I share all of the crazy healthy things that apple cider vinegar can do for our health and for our bodies. So I will see you over here next.